Oh, it didn't change. Hold on. We're back, and I just need to change our screen because
Splash screen?
we're not back with Numenera. We are back. We're
Hmm.
live. We are unmuted and everything, but we
Oh,
are
okay.
not playing Numenera. We are playing Red Markets. There we
Yes.
go.
Beep boo.
Yep,
What is a red market?
indeed.
It's a role-playing game about zombies.
Yeah. So, I
And
have the
economics. Oh.
I have the book pulled open, and it has a section that what is red markets. So I could just
Perfect.
read it
Might as
verbatim.
well. What does the book
Yep.
say
Yeah.
Red Markets is? And then later at the end of the review, we'll be like,
Yeah,
what is
we'll
it
compare notes.
actually?
Yeah.
At least they
Uh,
make it easy and literally tell you what they think the game is,
Yeah.
unlike Numenera, where I have to read between the lines as to what they think it is. So
mhm.
this is preferred. This makes the review easier. We have a rubric that we
Yes.
will be grading against.
Exactly. Red Markets is a tabletop RPG about economic horror. In Red Markets, characters risk their lives trading between the massive quarantine zones containing a zombie outbreak and the remains of civilization. They are takers, mercenary entrepreneurs unwilling to accept their abandonment. Bound together into competing crews, each seeks to profit from mankind's near extinction before it claims them. They must hustle, scheme, and scam as hard as they fight if they hope to survive the competing factions and undead hordes the market throws at them. Takers that are quick, clever, or brutal enough might live to see retirement in a safe zone, but many discover too late that the cycle of poverty proves harder to escape than the hordes of undead. Red Marcus uses the traditional zombie genre to tell a story surviving on the wrong end of the economy. It's about characters deciding how much they're willing to pay for sanity, love, freedom, and other things that should be free. It's about struggling with cutthroat capitalism when its knife is on your neck.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very interested.
Yes.
Yep. I love their first thing to say under what is an RPG. It's amazing.
Google it.
Yeah, with stuff about like other stuff about what is a role playing game, but like, come on.
I agree
Yeah.
with that philosophy. Like, for some reason, we have to have that in every single book. I don't understand why, but we do. So, just tell people it's not worth my time to explain it to you. How do you even have this book if you don't know what that is?
Yeah,
Like-
and in that same RPG
I'm
section,
kind of 50-50 because I feel like, yeah, I'm really tired of reading everyone's interpretation of what an RPG is because who cares?
Mhm.
But also, like, there is, some onboarding, but I feel like they're all pretending like RPG is somehow different from playing Monopoly, or it's just like we just frame it. It's a game, you play it. These are the pieces.
I'd say there's more of an onboarding need the more fiction focused the game is, but the more mechanically focused the game is, the closer in the mind space it is to a role playing game. It's a board game, and that's easier.
yeah.
I'm saying even ones that are diceless, only feelings, still Monopoly.
I don't know if I agree.
Yeah.
For the average person who doesn't even play many board games, they can get very like uncomfortable and weird with like, I don't know what I'm doing.
I'm super biased. I feel like everyone plays board games, but I understand that's not true.
From the time I wake up in the morning and take a shower, it's all Monopoly. Everything.
Yep.
It's all Monopoly.
I know
Try and
people.
angle the dice, roll well.
I know people who specifically hate playing board games, and the more we
Do
come
they play
across,
any
family
games?
gatherings, the more people I meet and realize there are tiers of board gamers, and these need to be
Do
accounted
they
for.
play
when
any
encountering new
games?
people.
All games are the same.
Well, they play role playing games. Some, I believe, your friend.
Yes, but even beyond people I know, like just family members, like there's tiers of what people are willing to put their effort towards.
I'm willing
and
to play
learning
cards
those new games.
Versus,
I'm willing to play cards. I'm willing to play dominoes. I'm willing to play this really basic designer game. I'm willing to put a little bit of challenge into it. I'm willing to play Battlestar Galactica.
I'm willing to
I'm
meet
willing
once
to
a
play
month
role-play
for
games.
Pandemic Legacy.
Is somewhere within there.
Yeah.
And I'm over here putting on a fucking wizard's hat.
Oh, okay. Thank you for the reminder. I got this weeks ago.
Oh.
And forgot to wear it every single week.
Yeah, I'm more on the team of like not even put on the wizard. I'm the one passing out the wizard hats. Everyone, now is the time we don them.
Now that we're no
Passing
longer
them
having a
out.
shark PC, apparently, I now remember to wear this.
That is the single worst piece of headgear I've ever fucking seen.
It's really bad.
It's wonderful, and you're not wrong. That's what makes it wonderful.
It's horrendous.
It's like a shark mask cap
Yeah.
thing.
It's like the shark is throwing you up.
Yep. Okay. For the sake of my own sanity.
Why is the bill built into the balaclava? Like, I don't understand.
It's a thing. It's like a toque mixed with a baseball cap, mixed with a shark.
A toque ball cap.
Toque ball shark.
Toque ball shark cap.
It's bad.
But
we're
yeah,
playing a game.
yeah. So Red Markets is a 2d10 based system. They call it the what do they call it? The
Something dumb.
Nope, that's
Like
the
black
history.
and red.
Yes.
It's called something. They say that's what it is. Oh,
We have to vamp. There's some
You have to
background
wait.
noise.
I think there's
No.
cat problems. There's usually
No.
cat noises now when this is
it's
happening.
the cat's automatic feeder that is my girlfriend saying, "I love my little kitty," so she comes running over to the.
Really good though. That's great. I
That
wish I
is
had a
great.
cat feeder that did that.
Is
and
it
she
RFID
knows.
tag on on her collar or something?
No,
That
it's just
automatic?
it's set to go off every so often. Like you can
Okay.
set it like 3 feedings a day or 2 feedings a day or whatever,
Mhm.
and it just plays whatever sound you want it to play. So she recorded herself saying that.
That's great.
That's really good. I can't knock anyone for that. That's amazing.
One of the
Great.
things that's weird to me is under the What is an RPG, Red Market says Red Market is basically a poverty simulator that uses zombies to keep its theme from getting too real. To me, the zombies actually makes it darker than the poverty part.
Well,
But
Well,
that allows you to put it in the realm of fantasy rather than I have to deal with this on Monday, motherfucker.
Yeah,
That's
I
fair.
think-
I understand it says that, but the thing that's really ringing in my brain is I wish there were no zombies. Can I
too.
just do the poverty?
I don't think that's that's not possible in
too.
this game, but yeah, I'm like I would totally play in I'm just broke.
Like I understand
game.
why. Yeah, I understand why because they tell us why, and I agree with their point that the zombies liven it up. But I'm here for the ultra poverty. Like,
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know,
'cause-
man. I don't want to relive life experiences in games as much. I don't think.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think that's their philosophy is like, do you add the zombies in so there's a step removed? Otherwise, because you deal with a lot of real things, right? Like if you can't hit your break points, right? Like your equipment will start to break down. You can't
Ooh.
feed yourself. You have like based on your charisma score, you have that amount of people you need to take care of because they either are unable or unwilling to work, right?
Higher
So
your
it could be
charisma score,
children.
right?
Yeah, and then that also helps you heal humanity damage, right? So like
Yeah.
higher charisma score means you have more outlets for the horrible shit you see all day, but
Is
also
this the same dice system from Ironsworn?
no.
Ironsworn is just 2d6, I believe.
No, it's 2d10.
Was it? Oh. I don't
I don't think we ever got
it
around
was.
to rolling.
And it's
We
and
played
it's
a one shot before that, but I thought it was just Powered by Apocalypse, including just the 2d6.
No, but it's one die beats another die.
Is it? Okay, then I'm misremembering that.
I don't.
But yes, it is one die beats another die.
Yeah, basically. It also does crits are different. Where I think evens are a positive crit and odds are a negative crit. Like
if
crit
you
fails, and
if
crit
you equal
successes.
your
Oh, no, like
opposing
the
die.
natural of the die. If it's an even natural die, then that is a critical success, and an even negative or an odd negative or an odd matching is a critical fail.
Oh, if they match, if both
match,
right.
dice
Yeah.
roll
So if the
same
natural of the
number.
die
Okay.
is one red and one black, then that's a fail. But if it's like two red,
red,
two black,
that's a success. Okay.
So
I was
even if it
wrong
was,
about-
like 2 9s, that's a
Yeah.
critical fail.
It is
Yeah.
not the same system as Ironsworn. Ironsworn uses another 2d10 and one. It's like 1d6 versus 2d10.
mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it's different, but this is not it. But it reminds me of that, where you're rolling 2 die and comparing
Yep.
them.
Looks like Red Markets goes right into the setting. Right
It
after
goes
that, it's
hard.
yeah. I'm like, okay, there's so many pages. I'm on page 45 right
Oh,
now.
it's like 100 something
180
pages.
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did setting
At least it's all-
TLDR.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I got the gist of what
it's
you
the
need to know.
profit system, by the way.
That's
is the
what it's
name of
called.
the
Thank
dice.
you. The
I
profit
don't
system.
like the name, but I don't hate the dice system. We'll have to see how
We're
it
gonna
plays,
see a
but, like,
lot of like just financial terms.
It's a lot of
everywhere.
financial terms. I believe I also put in the Roll20 a terminology section that is just here's the setting terminology and here's the game terminology. What that means.
Gonna need it. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But what is the too long didn't read of the setting?
The too long didn't read is when the apocalypse started, zombies were very fast and very horrifying. And then as the disease progresses, they become slow and dumb.
Yeah, so
Right, that's
World
step
War
one.
Z into The Walking Dead.
Exactly.
Yeah. So new zombies are
if-
more dangerous than old ones, right?
Yeah. It's new zombies also have the horrifying thing of the way the zombification works is parts of your brain start shutting down, so you are cognizant of the fact that you are losing your mind. So there's actually a mechanic where they're called vectors because they're really fast. Like they shout apologies and tell you to run away. So that's like a humanity hit.
Yeah, I was
like,
gonna
you
say
gotta
that's
roll.
psychological damage right there.
Yeah, it's psychological damage.
When the zombie is saying sorry and eating your face, yeah.
Yep, there's that. Another thing is not every exposure leads to an infection. So in the setting, it says like, yeah, we probably killed a lot of immune people without knowing it, and there's also
You can be immune
another-
to this. There's just a cost
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a massive drawback, at least from what I understood of that
Yeah.
particular
yeah.
mechanic.
So you can either roll the dice, and when you like test to see if you are infected, you could be like, oh, you're naturally immune. There's another form of immunity called latency, where technically the disease is in you, it's just in a latent form, and you grow. I think there's like pictures of latents in the book.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you go to
It's more
page
like
118,
mutant, isn't it?
yeah, you're more kind of like a mutant where
Ooh, I could be
Yeah.
a mutant?
not little m mutant, not like two-head mutant, right? It's more that if you are killed as a latent, you immediately become a zombie. There is no downtime, right?
I'm cool with that. That seems
And-
fun.
You're
and as a
technically
latent-
living zombie
Yeah,
with control.
and you are also contagious, so people can't touch you. Your latents are very segregated too.
Yeah, they're the like lepers basically.
Yeah.
in this.
That's less fun. They made it not cool again.
If you become a zombie, are you not a player character anymore, or
I believe that's
if you
correct.
if you become a zombie, I believe you are not a player character. You can't be like
Is-
a conscious zombie.
Is there a cure in the
There-
game?
There is, if you are bit and you are infected, there is an item called K95 something like a suppressant where you take it and it'll make you a latent. So you choose to either roll the dice, check to see if you are immune, because there's like a med kit I think will let you check that, or there's an item that lets you check that, or you take the immunosuppressant and just like I don't care,
Guaranteed becoming a latent.
guarantee.
if you are immune once, are you immune for every bite, or does that read?
Yes.
Yeah,
if you
but
are
it's a
immune,
very low chance.
Okay,
It's
that makes sense.
it's you
There's
need
a
a
thing in
crit
character
success.
creation that can make you
And
immune.
and character creation, you have a soft spot, a sorry, I'm kind of like bouncing
Weak
around
spot.
the book, weak spot, and a tough spot. So let me get to the like actual page where it talks about that.
We're not doing character creation
No,
first,
we're not.
so we can go through that some other
yes,
time.
that won't be
I'm
today.
good with that. Yep.
We can
Yeah.
talk about like ideas for characters if we want to, but we'd probably
Yeah.
even do that after.
after the
So
after
we
you
run a
generate an
business
enclave
in
into it.
this, right? We run a business in the apocalypse.
We're more like
You run-
contractors, aren't we?
You're like a crew,
Yeah, we're
Well-
shadow runners in the mutant or in the zombie
Yeah,
apocalypse.
basically.
Yeah,
that.
we did Blades. We're a Blades crew, so it means we have a business.
Well, we don't have a stationary business. It's really there's no like.
It's more
We aren't
equivalent
that
to like
stable.
adventurers than it is
Yeah.
to like Blades.
So
Yeah, we aren't as stable as a Blades crew.
We can have
would
a
be.
salvage business. Is basically
Yeah.
what it comes down to.
Yeah, but we're
So-
more just
we
like
can't be like a taco truck.
no,
No,
no, we cannot.
That seems like a missed opportunity, but okay.
We could probably in the game try to do a taco truck thing.
You could try to do that. Also, when you create a character, you create like what your retirement plan is. Like, why are you doing this? Like, when you could just be a guy sits on the fence,
so yes,
and like stab zombies all day, right? Like, you want something more.
And to put like a ram and spikes all over the taco truck to drive around through all the zombies, and then go around selling the tacos.
Selling zombie tacos.
That's
pretty sure you can't eat zombie meat. That's
no
humanity hit
that's why it's a truck, so you sell and move.
I wasn't even thinking that. I was just like, yeah, let's sell tacos and drive between place to place, charging premium prices for like cheap taco truck tacos. But they're expensive because there aren't taco trucks anymore.
Yeah, because they're the only tacos around anymore.
It's like, you want to wait 2 months for the next guy to come through, or are you buying the tacos?
Yeah,
so
unfortunately, we do not start with that.
City to city, or are we going? We're living in the city. We're going out, and then we're coming back to this city.
Usually, I think that, but yeah, Jordan.
It's usually you have your enclave, right? That's where you set up, like that's where you live, right? You essentially pay your rent by doing jobs.
Yeah, it's our neighborhood in the
it's like your neighborhood.
It's our neighborhood.
Yeah, and then there's other enclaves around, which we would also generate when we make our enclave. Like you just say who you're trading with, and stuff like that.
So we can visit them too. But
you could visit them too. Like they'll also have jobs, right? So every session starts with finding a job, and then
I can't remember. Is this set anywhere specific? Like if looks like it's very much real world in the near future.
Yeah. From my understanding, I think it's basically west of the Mississippi, because east of the Mississippi is the recession, which is just where the government fell back to and like fucked
right,
everyone
we're
else.
outside of that. We're in
okay.
So we're on the west side of the Mississippi, USA.
Yeah. I would say probably in my brain I go like Midwest, right? Kind of like where we set our kids on bikes thing.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Flat middle of America.
It could be flat middle of America. You could also go
into the Rockies or wherever, you know.
Yeah.
I kind of like the idea of it being like a small town in the zombie apocalypse, because that's not seen that often. As far as
like little Odessa, Texas, just, you know.
Yeah. It also says like big in fiction, and also I think in the book it says like big cities are like you don't want to go there because they're picked over and they're full of zombies, right? There's like nothing good could come of that.
Okay. But yeah, we could have like
don't live in them.
The thing I like about the small town that works for role-playing game in this way is like you have the like one significant place in the normal small town is still that one significant place as an enclave, for example.
Yeah.
The movie theater could be an enclave.
It could be, yeah.
Movie theater itself would be an entire enclave?
I think so. Like
it could be
the
movie theater itself and maybe like a couple surrounding areas. It just an enclave is whatever could be fortified and held by like a group of people.
Yeah,
I think.
I mean, obviously, it's the Mall of America.
The Walking Dead, like that kind of stuff. But yeah, the stereotypical mall.
It is either one very large building, like a mall, or I guess the theater chain, like one of those
strip mall kind of with a movie theater in it. Things.
Yeah.
Supermarket is an obvious one.
Yeah. I think when we did the one shot, we set it in the Alamo.
Yes.
Right.
Why? They lost.
This was a one shot.
Yeah. Was that the same one where we had? Oh no, that was there.
So is that the first question? Where do we want to be?
Let me. I thought we were doing it so fast. So let me go to Enclave Generation because it's at the.
We'll kind of bounce around, I think.
Yeah, we're kind of bouncing. I have the book. I'm looking at the PDF and I have the book right here.
Yeah, see, there should be bookmarks.
I know it's near the end. Running the market. That's a job creator. What I really like about this too is there's a lot of tables, and it says like red markets. You don't need a lot of prep if you don't want a lot of prep, right?
Nice.
So it says like, hey, if you want more like specific stuff, then you can make it. Otherwise, you can just use the tables if you want.
Good.
Oh, here we go. Enclave generation. So we would start with the name, I guess, name and then location.
Okay, so
Finish with the name.
yeah, let's
Yeah,
immediately
I think
turn that to
finish with
later.
the name. Yeah.
However,
Is the
location
location
is
supposed to be specific? Or is it like, are we choosing
Well,
small town as our
the-
location, or is it like the enclave itself? We're choosing where in the small town we want to be.
I think it's
Um,
more
think I kind of
interspecific, like
I
who we
kind of like if we use like a real place because then we can Google Maps things and be
Yeah,
like,
it
oh,
says to
that's
do
where
that a
all of
lot
this
too.
stuff is.
Yeah, I would prefer to do a place that we're all fairly equally familiar with, which is to say unfamiliar. So
Yeah.
not a place any of us have like lived in.
I tend towards actually an imaginary town because bogging down with the details of, oh wait, that's actually 2 streets away if I look on Google Maps, might cause issues.
I'm not sure how much map planning is expected. Like, if we don't use a real map, will Jordan, you then need to create an imaginary map?
Not for the Enclave. The Enclave is, I think, a lot more like theater of the mind stuff, right? Like, there's also mechanics where when you heal humanity damage from the last job, you say what you do with your dependents, and one of those things could be like, "What do you do for fun?" Right? And then you just say what you do for fun, and then that's in the Enclave. So one of the
Guys,
I
things could
think I
be
agree with
For,
Marissa for the imaginary one. Then
for our enclave, do we want to use a theme park?
it could be a theme park.
Those are so indefensible though. Like they
I
put those in
know.
flat areas, like on shitty land. I live 20 minutes away from a major theme park, and I know Indigo lived in the state of theme park.
Yes.
I lived
Yes,
like
I
20
lived in
minutes
the
away
theme
also.
park town where there was the 3 largest in the country.
what about a water park instead? Because that tends to be more compact, and you could use a lot of the water slides themselves as watchtowers.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's true.
So
There'd be
we
an
could do
automatic hill, so basically
A
you're
ski
at the top.
resort.
You know,
a ski
actually,
resort.
what popped into my head when you started saying slides and things was Lake Placid has a Olympic training facility where it's got
Ooh.
like the ski jumps and all that kind of stuff up there. It's a really cool little town that is heavily depressed now because there's no Olympians going there. But
Yeah,
It's
it
almost
could
like
be.
if you totally retool a town for a 4-week event, the town's not going to do well when it's
well,
over.
it's also where like U.S. Olympians go to train for the Winter Olympics.
Yeah,
So
it's
it's
not just
active
during
once
the
every 4
Olympics.
years.
Yeah.
You know,
So what's good about imagining that too, like using your Olympic like training facility example, is one of your exports could be water from the snow we melt,
Yeah,
right?
stuff like
Because
that.
you need to have exports and
Yeah.
imports.
We need to. Yeah.
So is
I'm
that
kind of
our
a fan.
base? We are the survivors of the Lake Placid Olympic Training Facility?
well, I'd put it in the Midwest somewhere because that's, you know, but
Yeah.
it would be someplace that's sort of mountainous, which I kind of dig because terrain is cool when you've got
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
hordes of things out and around.
I'm kind of a fan of the ski resort as well, yeah, because that's something that I can picture a lot from my childhood, and
I've
yeah,
never
there's a
been
lot
to
of
a ski
interesting
resort, as a heads
Neither
up.
have I, but
So
I'm
I
cool with ski resort.
do not know
Yeah.
what it even looks like. Like, except
Um.
the outside hills. That's it.
I'm excited to have chairlift to get us away from zombies. So there's like hordes of zombies underneath the
Yes!
chairlift as we're going up to the chalet. Yeah.
Yeah. So we could
Or one of
make.
those
How
little
about
carpets
that.
that you'd stand on for the bunny hill.
how about we do a Lake Placid type Olympic facility, but because Lake Placid's in Vermont, that would be
New York.
Oh, New York.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I just Google Maps it real quick. Why don't we say somewhere along
It's in Wyoming.
Wyoming?
The only thing
It's
I'm a
in
little confused about with
Minnesota.
the Lake Placid thing is are all this stuff already indoors, or
We can
Oh, it's
make it look
all,
like we want.
yeah, most of the training stuff is outside. There's a huge track and all that kind of stuff, ski jump, that kind of nonsense. But there's a bunch of
okay, so there's a
facilities
huge
for,
like building and then some outdoors.
yeah,
Yeah,
Hmm.
sweet.
Yeah. So we'll just say General Midwestern Ski Lodge.
I should switch this so you're the
yeah,
GM
like
now,
winter
Jordan.
retreat kind of thing.
Yes, put me in the seat of power.
Hold on. Give me a second. I need to edit this thing.
So we
Minimized in
could
the corner.
put it in Vail. Because Vail,
Where-
Colorado is like a huge
I
ski
used
place.
to work for
I'm
that
still-
company.
Okay.
Not for the resort in Wyoming. They have like one in the Grand Tetons.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I grew up in ski resort territory. We had two major hills right around. And, you grew up knowing how to ski.
I didn't consciously see snow until I was 12.
My school had a weekly trip with the ski club out to the local ski. I don't really know if you call it
Urban
resort.
skiing.
It's just where people went to ski. Where I went to break my leg once and then never went back.
So it seems like we're all liking ski resort to be determined exactly where.
I am still iffy on ski resort, honestly.
Okay.
I don't have a strong picture of what it even is like at all in my head.
Big hotel on a mountain is mostly
one
what
other
it is.
consideration: what does exposure to elements look like in this game?
Ooh, I think there might be like winter equipment, but I'm not sure.
Because I don't want to screw ourselves and be like, "Yep, we're in the snow," and then we all freeze to death.
No, I will look to make sure of that. But there's also in the
We'd be a
random
sandals
table.
resort. We could go the other way.
So
we took over Fire Island. We're having a huge party.
So part of the setting, I believe, it's also like I know it's in the random tables, and I think it's talked about in the setting description, but climate change is a thing. So on the random table, you might just like, hey, it's snowing now for some reason, right? Or oh, it got really, really cold and rainy.
So the weather is calamitous and unpredictable.
not bounded by geography.
Okay, so that's like living
believe
where we
so.
live. We and Marissa, that's every day.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
as long as like hurricane and tornado aren't on that list, I'm cool.
I don't believe so, but I don't know.
Tornado in the mountains.
Yeah.
Hurricane in the desert.
Yep.
So Spence, you're still iffy on ski resort?
Yeah, hotel in the mountains works.
The Shining
I'm kind of imagining
Hotel.
like a big.
It feels
almost
well. The thing is, as an
pool?
enclave, it feels oddly enough too safe or too isolated from the rest of the town. But I'm not sure.
A Midwestern Sonic.
Midwestern Sonic.
Yeah.
Like the drive-in
Sonic the
restaurant?
Drive.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yes,
They don't have
that's
those
what I'm
here.
talking about.
They don't have those
Oh
here.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like an old drive-in restaurant, like burgers and stuff.
Rollerblading servers, they go up to your car.
When I was a kid, one of the places we'd go would be this gigantic like playpen with ridiculous like climb up this thing and there and everywhere, and almost then an athletics facility kind of attached to that, or you know swing into
A
the foam or
YMCA?
something.
Yeah, like a skate
I
park
guess
kind of
so?
thing with the huge foam pit that people jump into. That kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
So I think I'll use the example of the when the creator of the game did his short little campaign, they set it in an architectural college. So part of that was the college itself. They said, okay, well, what if we were trying to do sustainable living at the college? So there's a bunch of what do you call those like shipping containers, like shipping container like houses and stuff like that. So you could choose like here's the location, and then we could build off of that.
Okay.
I'm still probably mostly towards the ski resort or the big pool in the mountains. I don't know. Just because there's this kind of complex building with, you know, the shops, but not too many shops with, yeah.
A series of missile silos in some like really flat state.
You could also do that.
Decommissioned nuclear silos.
Yeah, like a network of nuclear silos. So like 3 silos that have a little
I can
highway
imagine
that goes
that
between them.
all the missiles were already all fired because at the
yeah,
zombie
they're empty
apocalypse
silos.
happened.
Yeah, well,
you can buy those now. Actually, there are decommissioned silos you can buy as a house and retrofit them. And
Really?
Yeah,
yeah,
there is.
They're not even
like
that expensive.
Well, it's because they're in the middle of nowhere. Like they're 5 miles from the nearest gas station, kind of middle of nowhere.
Wow.
Yeah. But in the setting, the U.S. nuked Canada as a quote
as a precautionary measure.
preemptive genocide is what they called it.
I've been a proponent for this for a while. I know y'all northern motherfuckers are just sharpening your skates
hold on,
trying to
I
come over the Great
misspoke.
Lakes and take our cheese. So
It was the Eastern
cheese is better
Canadian
anyways.
cities were nuked in a quote
Eastern
preemptive
Canadian.
genocide.
It's fine. It's Eastern Canadian. It doesn't matter.
It's
We have
like
no friends
Quebec.
there currently.
It is a lie.
Wait, we have friends there currently? That'd
Yes,
be a
we
few
do,
months.
but that doesn't matter.
yeah, screw those friends. They can die.
So I will put an asterisk next to ski resort, just until
Mhm.
Or like loosely sporting complex kind of thing.
Yeah.
Either sporting complex or like water park-esque.
What about a hockey rink?
What about a cruise ship that was stuck at port?
Like Noah's Ark cruise ship on the mountain?
No, not in the middle of the ocean. It's stuck at the docks, and we just have the cruise ship.
That feels too defensible. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, actually.
Well, it doesn't work. It's just there.
Yeah, but zombies can't swim, so there's just the dock. Actually, honestly, most cruise ships don't. At least the ones I lived near didn't go to port. They had a ferry.
Hmm.
There are some
But
ports
I don't-
that are long enough with large enough docks for a cruise ship, but yeah.
I don't know how I feel about surviving a likely microbial holocaust, like apocalypse kind of thing, on something that is currently in our reality a floating petri dish.
Well, so another thing about this disease is that it inherently defies all laws of physics, and people who study it actively go insane because
cool.
it's like
Cthulian
it doesn't work like this. Yeah.
Does that make
Like,
the cruise ship a better idea?
Does that make... What are like small airport? Like there's no commercial flights from your airport.
Because there's also planes in the book.
Ooh, small, not airport, seaplane port.
Ooh, can we be in Alaska?
On a lake. Ooh, I like the lake seaplane port.
Yes, I like lake seaplane port as well.
I'm down for lake seaplane port too.
I could do it. I have a little bit of difficulty trying to figure out what on earth do you have there, but well enough, close enough. We've all been to airports.
It's an airport. There's a Starbucks.
It's an airport, but with smaller seaplanes.
For some reason.
So seaplanes would have been around to take goods to remote areas, like in Alaska and things like that. So wherever the port is that's dispatching these seaplanes is going to have a supply line for that stuff.
Okay. I just don't think that they're generally coming from one specific port.
They're not, but it's a good abstraction to be like a number of seaplanes are in this area.
Yeah,
it could just be for various like remote towns that are still around the lake and need things at a high enough speed that a boat is too slow or something.
Could we? Let's say, how about we set it around the Great Lakes?
Yeah,
because we'll still get that sort of like wintry theme.
Yeah,
we'll get a seaplane, right? All right.
Okay, now I want to go out and play Dead of Winter, but another time.
We'll say seaplane.
My campaign goal is now to salvage the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Okay, so. Oh, I have the book here. So, all right, are we all happy with that location?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reasonably enough, sure.
So it's the largest small town probably around that part of the area of the lakes there.
Yeah. There are some questions about location in here, but like we kind of sort of address them. Like, does the Enclave have access to water? How is there a river?
Yeah, the lake.
What's the landscape like? We could say sort of bushy, foresty, wintry.
Relatively,
it's cold.
Yeah.
Right?
It's never warm, even when it's not cold. That cold.
Is there arable soil outside the Enclave, or do crops need to be grown inside the fence, or is agriculture feasible at all?
Say it is feasible.
Yeah,
I'd say
and it
it's
would be
difficult
Not
because of the
defensible.
cold.
I mean, aquaculture is a thing.
I don't know if we have the ability to do that, but yeah. There's also the fact, like, animal farming would be easier because of the cold than plant farming, because I don't think it ever would get
Yeah.
warm enough in this
And-
version for crops to actually like bloom. Really,
So
And
again,
see-
has this version really changed the climate all that much? Because
if we're that
people
close to the
survived on
nukes,
farming there specifically.
they did. But if we're that close to the nukes, it was Eastern Canada that was nuked. We're around the Great Lakes.
Ah,
And if
Yeah.
we're going seaplane route, if that was a major form of transportation in this area, that would indicate that there are not a lot of flat areas, and building roads to places was unfeasible.
Yeah. So I'd say agriculture isn't
we basically
impossible, but there's a
shattered the
bunch of
land.
different things that made it unfeasible
Yeah.
here.
So did we basically just shatter the land? Like, are we having a bunch of different canyons beyond these lakes, and
I don't think
rivers
nukes
between
leave
them that we're not?
craters
I
in that
know,
way.
it's fun.
I
They-
think
They can.
They can?
yeah, I think
Yeah.
Okay.
from reading the like reasoning behind it in the book, it's that they wanted to secure the northern border from zombies because they had the Mississippi River, right? And then they just went, well, if there's no food for zombies to eat, they're not going to come that way. So they nuked it, made
But
it
do the
irradiated.
zombies know that?
I think they're banking on irradiation will melt the zombies before they come.
So we are
And
essentially
there's no
supplying.
chain.
Oh, I
There's no
agree.
chain of people for them to eat to make
Yeah,
each mile.
zombie eats
you know?
someone, dies. That zombie eats someone, dies. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Our enclave is then basically supplying the people up in Canada who are like, yeah, we survived and we refuse to leave this land.
Could be, yeah, because they.
Ooh, I like that. I like
yeah,
that a lot.
We're probably near the border. I'm guessing.
That's who we trade with.
Well,
yeah,
the Great
it's
Lakes
like,
Yeah.
are the border between the Canada and the States.
Yeah,
so
I
yeah.
know.
So the people you trade with could be Canadian enclaves, right?
It could be some Canadian and some not. And then
I
like
there
the
could be
interest of,
tension of like,
The stigma,
no,
yeah, because there's
your
not supposed to
government,
be
which
anyone
basically
there.
doesn't exist anymore, but still bombed us. How long ago was that?
I'm not sure off the top of my head, but
Last
it
week?
was. I think we're 2-3 years into the apocalypse, and I think that was done fairly recently.
Okay.
So
me-
less than
let me
5
see
years
here.
ago.
Yeah,
We-
like
So there's
I think
recent
actually
memory.
5.
Okay.
One,
because there
we
are-
bombed you, and two, the south of us are like, no, we bombed them. Keep them dead. We want them dead for a reason.
but
I-
we're
I
not part of the
think- Right.
protected unit. We are outside of that eastern United States protected country. We're not part of. We're not connected to them. So yeah, we'd be
in-
like, yeah, the U.S. bombed the shit out of you, but we're gonna take advantage because now we're gonna charge extra to ship you food.
Yeah, we
because
know you've got
also-
the money and no resources, and look at this shiny box of corn.
Yeah, and part of the setting also is when the government fell back behind the Mississippi River. One of the things they did was declared everyone who wasn't there legally dead,
Yes.
which is why it's very hard to get over the border,
Yes.
like over the
So,
river.
like,
Because
the nukes was bad, and it is worse obviously than this. But also the government abandoned everyone. Everyone
else,
Everyone else is as good as dead as well.
yeah, because even if you can somehow get past the border security guards, if you go and live in the recession, you have no rights at all. If they catch you, they could do whatever they want to you because you're
'Cause
not
you're
legally a
already
human
dead.
being to them because you're already dead.
Healthy.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's very
It's
healthy.
a hellscape.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. What was the population density here before the crash? I think we like small town, right?
It was
Yeah.
the least small town here. I
Yeah.
still wouldn't call it a high population density though.
I think biggest
Yep.
small town.
Is there a scale that they have?
No, this is more just like theater of the mind stuff. I don't think
Okay.
it's like
Okay.
if you have this many people, have this many things, right?
Okay, I
Yeah.
wasn't sure if we had to like, okay, that the town needs food. We go out and get
Yeah.
X number of food
No.
per 1,000 or something.
No.
I say there used to be farms like before the apocalypse, and as the probably trading aspect of the town's economy went up, a lot of the farms probably became like not abandoned because that wouldn't be a thing, but like less people. No one started up new farms, and the existing ones just kind of slowly closed.
Okay.
But one thing I'd like to know
there's
is, are
probably
we
quite a bit of
affected by
space.
fallout?
No,
Like,
I don't
is that
think.
a
I
thing
don't think
that our
we're
enclave is worried about?
irradiated.
No.
Okay.
I
Red
think
market,
So
shadow
a
of
bit further
cryptid.
north, yes, but we're just...
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
it
we
depends
might
on
ship
where on the
rad
Great Lakes.
medicine to the northern towns, maybe.
You could. Because it really only says the eastern Canadian cities, so I sort of count basically
The
from.
thing is, the
from-
biggest populated Canadian cities in the east are all around the Great Lakes.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah, it's
thing.
like Winnipeg East.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it'd be
So
like-
it will be.
Oh, I don't
I
think they
see.
did Winnipeg. They didn't do Winnipeg.
Oh, okay.
I
So
think
Winnipeg's
they did
probably.
Toronto to Quebec.
Yeah, which is...
Oh,
Hi,
okay.
kitty.
So in reality, I'm physically dead right now
Mm,
because I'm
probably.
just across the lake.
Yeah.
Yeah, because at least this is what I'm assuming. Because if you go fall behind the Mississippi River, right, you have that huge western flank held, and
Yep.
then your only border is with Canada right there,
Yep.
which is what they would do. I think. No cat.
I am safely in that safe America area.
Yeah.
I am neatly nestled right
Safe.
where I'm supposed to be.
I mean, I wasn't nuked, but I am legally declared dead, so...
Yeah.
Well, the U.S. government. I don't know if they care about Canadians.
Obviously, they don't. They nuked half
No,
of them.
exactly.
Yeah. So
Um,
yeah. No, I think Winnipeg should
okay,
be
what
fine.
Disrepair.
So we might be
So if-
trading with the small. Winnipeg's still probably a zombie hellscape. So we were probably trading
Yeah.
with more the small towns around and on the outskirts of Winnipeg.
But, you know,
I've-
they nuked Toronto, but
Mhm.
we aren't actually having fallout because it's a special kind of nuke that definitely didn't cause us problems.
But we're not near Toronto, are we? Because we're west of the Mississippi.
Eh.
Yeah, actually, we
it-
wouldn't even be on the Great Lakes if we were west of the Mississippi. Because the
We could
Mississippi is-
technically be on
west
the
of the
west
Great Lakes.
side of Lake Superior, looking at it. There's
Yeah,
like a
that's what I was thinking.
small area of the Great Lakes that we could be on.
I know in the game that the creator of the book did, they were based around Chicago, so they just moved that line a little bit.
Mhm.
Okay.
So we
Yeah.
could just say like Chicago and East is saved, and Chicago West got screwed.
We could have our enclave in Milwaukee and just have a brewery.
We
Um,
could.
And export beer.
Export.
Sure.
Fuck you. This is the apocalypse. I'm drinking.
But listen, it's the capitalist apocalypse, so you need to export.
It is a requirement.
We export mush from the beer making process as compost.
No, Vegemite.
Okay, I think that's all the questions for location. And then it goes defenses. So, is it natural defenses or some repurposed building, such as a prison, a train yard, a military base, or was it hastily constructed during the crash, which is what they call the apocalypse, because it's economics.
Well, if
I-
we're, you know, on a lake directly, that means at least part of our border is
I'd say natural defenses. And
Okay.
it's somewhat mountainous, not directly, but like not flatland. The airport would be actually. The airport itself would be flat.
I think we dug a really big trench.
You just want
I-
to moat?
Just having lived
could
out
do
in the
it
like
sticks
that.
for as long as I have in my life, there's plenty of preppers out here. There's plenty of fortified locations that you can take over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good with like a moat or something, or like
I
just
love a moat.
like we
Who doesn't like a
extended the
moat?
lake around the airport.
Moat around the airport. I love it.
Well, I guess it's a seaport, isn't it? So it's just the buildings on the edge
It's a
of the
bunch
lake.
of docks and gas tanks and yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, no,
There's
we just
I still like the idea there's a mini commercial airport that like is trying. They have like one bar and one coffee shop in the like and one in the newsstand and their little mini commercial
I could see
airport,
like
too.
this seaport tried to expand to commercial lines and just be like,
Commercial
hey,
air.
do you want to take a flight across the lakes? This is how you take a flight across the lakes. And it failed before
Didn't
the
work.
apocalypse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, do we like that idea? A burgeoning airport for the seaport that just didn't work. So you have that area.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, that'd give us a good tower and radio
Yeah.
communication, stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay, and then how have the defenses been added to or altered since the crash? We
We
went into
dug
that.
out, yeah, the moat.
Anyone keep watch on the walls, or are the defenses long enough that they take care of themselves? Why are you bothering
Are you
me?
talking
I
about?
think the question before, like, is that PCs only or just anybody in the Enclave?
No, anyone in the like US PCs don't typically man the walls
I
because
was
that's
gonna
not how
say,
you
yeah,
make.
we don't do, like the Enclave is
You
where we
go out
live, but we
the
aren't a
crazy
part of
jobs
the.
that
We
no
don't
one else
maintain
will
it.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how many people are we envisioning in this Enclave? I think is the real question.
That's a good question.
Yeah. I still like it, it's a large area. So I would say several dozen, but not more than 100. But we never see more than a small handful of those at a time.
Yeah.
It feels like less than that, is what I'm thinking.
So it's a larger area than we have people.
Yes. If it's an airport,
Yeah,
like
that
it's
makes
an airport,
sense.
we have all of the runway. Well, it's not a runway. All of the waterway, but we still have the docks.
Hold on, I'm being held hostage by a cat. She has hissed at me and attempted to bite. Hold on.
Might want to deal with that.
Yeah. Physical violence. Um. Yeah, there could be a bunch of like tents or other things built on the docks, basically.
We took all the ice shacks that go on the lake when it freezes and just lined them up down the runway so
Yeah.
people can sleep in them.
Yeah.
Ooh, I heard that
Yep.
part. Sorry, the furry terrorist. Go
More
ahead.
silly option. We got all the planes, ripped the wings off, and built a log cabin.
I don't think that this is a game for silly, unfortunately.
You
However,
don't think it's a game for silly.
That could
is what I
also be
said.
very practical because
Yeah,
planes are
repurposing
just a sink.
fuselage.
As long as we have one in case we get fuel, but yeah.
Yeah. Like the Enclave can also have a plane. It's just you guys don't own that
Oh yeah,
plane.
no. I was thinking they actually used parts of the plane body as the equivalent as the like their bridge over the moat.
Oh, okay.
Because
So we
I'm sure
got,
there are
like,
at least a few people who tried to like steal a plane and ended up crashing it during the apocalypse. So some
Plane
destroyed plane
parts
parts.
used for various needs of the Enclave.
Yep, I think that's common.
Not for export, though.
Not for export. No.
Too valuable.
We have an aviation infrastructure. Like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. So, let me also write down. We'll say, less than 100 people.
Yes.
So maybe we have like one person who's up in the tower watching the walls, but it's
Yeah.
not a very good set system. Like we trust the moat probably a little more than we should because
Mhm.
we don't have the manpower.
Yeah.
you got a strike team that you can call out to any point, and you try to keep them as central as possible.
I guess
Like,
is this a thing that one of the questions asks or specifically doesn't ask? Who's in charge of the enclave? Like, do we?
That is specifically asked. It's one of the social structure is part of that. You have
Okay.
different neighborhoods, right?
Yeah.
So,
Wait, within
in
the
that
enclave?
yeah, neighborhoods. It's like the different cliques,
Ah,
right?
okay.
So, like,
Yeah.
like
social neighborhoods.
yeah, like typically in a bigger enclave. I don't depends on if any of you guys want to play latent or if you just don't want to have latents in your enclave at all. Like latents would be its own neighborhood,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
right? Because you, for practicality's sake, and
Oh, I
also
wonder
like
if we keep them out on the docks.
I think we should
No,
have a
no. There's
latent.
various rooms underneath the walls that you can open the cages on the outside to release the latents.
oh yeah, latents are latents are typically put on the perimeter of enclaves because they're like, hey, if you get bit, that's not a big deal.
That's
So
true.
you fight the zombies.
Yeah, that's true. I guess it's uncomfortable, but it is also the safest position is on the docks.
Yeah.
We have the latent shack that's right by the
The
gate.
latent shack.
But no, we should definitely have latents as a neighborhood just because we're so
Yeah.
small
Huh.
that we cannot
That's what
afford to
You
just
can't
shove them
discriminate.
out.
The latent shack. There's like 4 guys in it.
Yeah,
This
I
is
think
mean
if our
probably
latent population would actually kind of keep something.
this is probably a question later. Is there a question for the general theme of the Enclave? Like, is this barter town, or is this nice people in a rural American town just trying to get by?
So
I think we'll figure that out.
Yeah, I think we figured that out with the way we generate it. But for other there's also tables to like, hey, what kind of society do they run? I think there's like feudals on that Roll20, or that not Roll20, that like D10 table. I think also communist is on that D10 table, right?
Vote. We have a very strict HOA.
That could be one. That could
That
be
is the
apocalypse.
structure that
No.
rules the
No.
Enclave.
Too dark.
The
It's
HOA.
too dark.
Okay, so
White lights only. You can only have green trash cans.
We're
and
not
they
in a
must be pulled
neighborhood,
back
we're in
by
an
8 p.m.
airport.
8 a.m. the next
Yep.
day.
I do like
want
that
an
one of the
HOA.
cliques, though, might be a large, like a large family that came here for vacation, and now they're just stuck here. And it's just like the grandparents, and like
Yeah, so like it's
4
20
kids, and each of them
from
had
the
3
same
kids. Yeah.
family, yeah. Like
like
20
the family
people.
madrigal. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
It's like they had a family reunion, and then the
Yes.
apocalypse happened.
But one of
That's
them,
great.
was bitten, and I think is latent, and now everyone's wondering if something like that might happen to them. So there's family drama around what to do with the latent family member now.
Yes, there's the
There's the
big
black
family.
sheep, the latent
They
sheep.
need a name. We need to
Hold
name
on.
this family.
Because there's a section on history and like who were the first people to come here. So we'll come back to
Yeah,
that.
they weren't the first people to come here. I think they're just like they're on vacation.
It's one of the
and now they're stuck here.
Their entire family makes up 1/5 of our population.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, they're still
Well,
big
if-
influence.
If they came,
Oh, but
if
some
they
of them
were
would be
here when it
kids.
happened.
So
Yeah. Well,
Ugh.
yeah. If let's say there was a 5-year-old during the crash, if it's like I'm gonna say
Yeah, they'd
5
be
years
10 now.
later, they'd be 10 now, right?
Yep.
So, the next question for defense, I think we also kind of answered was, is there some sort of enclave police force or militia? If so, how does one join up? I think you said
I
there's
think
like
there's one dude.
there's like
there's
a
one
There's a
like-
sheriff that deputizes people.
I think so.
Yeah. There's a sheriff
And he
of the
kind of,
airport.
I like the idea that he just kind of does his own thing. Like he's not, there's no like system of management above him, but he hasn't done anything really bad so far. So he's just kind of like, I'm in charge of the security of this place, and you've been deputized to protect the border.
Ooh, what?
And
listen, I have an idea. Because it is a seaport in America. He was the head of the TSA.
we're all screwed.
If
idea
you know,
that
I'm
means,
good with
okay.
that. I think it makes
Oh.
sense for him to like be glory seeking, or it started off that way 5 years ago with him
Yeah.
glory seeking, to like, oh, I get to actually do a real thing now. But now,
See,
but he's somewhat competent at it.
Yeah.
I was
so-
sort of thinking maybe the other way with it. Like he's only doing this because there are rules, damn it, and everyone follows them. I don't
Mhm.
care who set the rules, but these are the rules.
What about a
You know?
No, it's so cool. They wouldn't
What
have a
happens
lifeguard.
if somebody is essentially like, hey, you were supposed to be manning the tower. There's no one in the tower. Like, if it's just him, he can't be up on the tower 24/7.
No, it's,
Yeah,
it's
I think
law keeping, not like management of the management or security.
Oh, is it? I was thinking it was still security.
That was the question, right?
Okay, so
was-
we're not talking about zombies can't get in. We're talking about who follows the laws within the town.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is internal security.
I see.
Yeah, like defense.
In which case, yeah, no. Good
In that
for
case, I am
just
good
the
with
sheriff.
TSA agent. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
TSA agent Greg is, or Gary, or
Something with a G.
something with a G, George.
Question: what is a TSA agent, please?
Okay, so you could explain.
Yeah. So they're ostensibly they came into most Americans' lives after 9/11. They're airport security. They're the guys that make you take off your shoes, walk through the little thing, and give you a hard
Oh,
time.
Yeah.
okay.
So he was the head of it.
Yeah.
But
Sounds
for this
good.
But
airport.
for this airport,
Or
which
this
means he
tiny
was
seaport.
like the only one with an office.
Sounds good.
Okay. The last question is: how do people bypass the defenses?
He
If
still
it's a
has
gate,
his
how do they
office.
distract, hurt, or kill the casualties waiting outside? The system of airlocks and checkpoints. If it's a secret entrance, how is it kept secret? So basically, boat.
You get on a
Or lower
boat, you
the
go
bridge.
around.
But the buildings for the airport, we do have a moat. I was thinking we
I don't
still.
think there's a bridge.
There's
I
no
think
bridge?
no bridge. I think no bridge. You could only boat in.
I mean, that's one way to keep the zombies out, guaranteed.
Yeah.
I think that there is like an airport like, as we mentioned, like an airplane wing bridge at one spot, but you can, knock it sideways, and now it's
can
just floating around
lift
the
it,
moat for a
or
while.
I think most people take a boat in.
Yeah, because
yeah, the
if
bridge
there's not
might
a lot of
only be
people to
lowered
distract.
in like exceptional circumstances.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily thinking it's lowered. I'm thinking it's like it's always there. It's the only point of entry, so we watch that bit.
Well, in that case, they just keep the boat, the bridge out of the moat until they use it. If that's easier than actually watching it all the time. It's just there is no bridge until you need it.
Yeah.
So
I think boats are the
It can
easiest
be one of those
answer.
turning
But
bridges
yeah,
too. Like you just keep it
true.
pivoted.
I'm
yeah,
good with.
and
I
that's
think.
kind of what I'm thinking.
How do you mean turning bridges?
So there's certain bridges that will actually spin on a pivot
Mhm.
because it can
Yep.
I believe it's to let shipping lanes go by without having to raise the bridge. You just go on either side of it. I'm not quite sure. They
Okay.
don't really exist around me, but they
I
exist.
feel like also that twisting bridge is something you could make out of airplane parts.
Okay. I mean, if that's the case, then yeah, that's easier.
But the bridge is only really big enough to walk on. You can't take goods
can't drive
across.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
You can't bring a car across. That all goes on boats.
No, I mean, there's no way the plane would support a car, a plane wing.
Yeah.
Or even a decent amount of cargo or a cart. It's really just a footbridge.
Yeah, maybe like now that it's probably been worn and torn, it will start to crumple if you bring anything too heavy over it.
Yeah. So, small twisting bridge for foot traffic, boats for bigger stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do they manage their own? Like, is there like an official boat that is handled by the Enclave, or is it
Well,
like you bring
did
your
we
own
decide
boat?
on did we decide on government?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
The Enclave could have its own boat, just its own little rowboat.
The ferry or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
It
obviously
wouldn't be something with fuel. That's too precious. They would.
Mhm.
Yeah.
there's a
It's-
chain laid under the lake that they just pull.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
it's a rope raft. That you just
Yeah.
where you just pull it across.
That's the easiest
Like
way.
it can be paddled.
Emergency
but
paddles, but they don't need it.
Yeah.
for day-to-day stuff, they just literally have a chain that runs under the lake so the zombies can't crawl across it, and you just pull it.
Yep.
hmm
Okay. Cool.
All right. So that's all of the defenses portion. Now we're the history portion, which the first question it asks is, what was the first group of people to see this place as a chance for survival? Did they secure it by being smart, ruthless, or just first?
I
Can
want to
we
say
choose?
just first. It was the people that were here.
I think it was the
Yeah.
people that were here.
People that were stranded on their flights out of town were the first ones here.
Stranded on their flights, the TSA agent, and then we probably want one more person who was here first as well.
And probably some just locals that were like trappers, people like that.
Yeah.
Those are the guys that are going to survive this kind of stuff. Is people that can survive off the land in the first place.
Yeah, we could
Ooh.
have like fishers. They would be the ones to supply the food, and they might be the clique that's in charge.
Yeah.
The
I like
fishermen.
that.
If you're
I'm
looking
not sure
for,
about the clique who's in charge, but Fishers, yeah.
if you're looking for maybe a more like administrative person, you could also do like the one airline that flies out of this airport. Just like their staff that's there.
Yeah, no, that could
Yeah.
work. I was
We
considering it,
definitely
but I
have at
wasn't
least
sure.
one pilot.
Oh, we definitely have one pilot. You're right. We have like one. What would he be doing now, or he or she?
Probably a couple of pilots, actually. Well,
I don't
do
know.
we just have,
I think
like,
we have one
depending on
pilot
how many
still here.
planes we had, yeah.
The
Yeah.
other thing with small towns, the infrastructure that was there pre-collapse can sustain afterwards because these guys, when you've got 1,000 people in your town, you've had a beer with your mayor, like him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the idea of that one pilot because he would have authority simply by the fact of he's the only one who can do this job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
There'd
he or
be a
she,
similar thing with
matter
anyone
what
who
they
was
are.
a maintenance person would also be very useful.
Okay.
The mailman. Is he still around? Is the mail
Yes,
delivery
but no one knows how he gets back and
supervisor?
forth amongst the zombie apocalypse to deliver the mail. He's more like
Oh, I just mean like, they're just at the airport? Like they're a character in our enclave.
Yeah,
who's
you could
just
have
a
the
US
I could see
mailman.
just
Postal
yeah, the
Service
mailman was here
representative.
picking up like the seaplane delivery of mail that came with the flight, and
he refuses to let anybody else look at the mail, give it to it, because it has to go to its
It was
intended
just-
recipients a
just-
couple things over, but he's
it's
just
the
not
last thing he's
leaving
holding
it.
on to. It's just like, no, this is my
Yeah, the
quest.
mailman. Yeah, they have an entire plane's delivery worth of mail, and they've been doling it out over the past 5 years while being unable to leave the enclave.
I'm stuck on this idea that like the post office drafts latents to carry the mail.
Yes, which is actually
Post office doesn't
horrifying.
operate out here anymore.
No, that's
Well, there's
true.
like a late.
There might be a local
Express
post
business
office. Well,
that has been
Yeah.
set up, where it's like infected.
can we make the
need
post
work,
office an enclave, like a
deliver
different enclave,
letters.
You could make the post office
a neighboring
enclave if you
enclave.
want. A neighboring enclave, yeah.
Ooh, I like that. The latent post office.
Yes.
Can you touch things that
okay.
Leighton has touched? Like, is that a thing?
I think I don't think you can, because like if you have to like
Dishwasher
do
gloves.
medicine on a latent, it's a self-control check before you even do it, right? Because you're like,
We're
if I
we're having Laytons deliver mail to everyone. That's
Dishwashing
well, they just wear
gloves.
gloves, right?
Like
They
the
can
big,
wear gloves
the
into
big
it.
yellow rubber gloves to hold your
okay.
mail.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Then yeah.
Okay. So
How you know the latents are coming? It's oh wow, that sounds awful. Every latent has to be wearing the big yellow gloves, and that is how you know who
well,
they are.
they wear the big yellow gloves, and a lot of the times on their shirt they say "latent, don't shoot," because if you shoot them, they will immediately turn into a zombie and run at you.
Yep. It is safer
fair.
usually for you to keep them alive.
Yeah.
And the mail deliveries have little hats.
How zombie are these zombies? Like head cut off and you're good zombies?
Yeah, you
or...
destroy the brain and you're good.
Okay.
How do skeletons factor in?
So, slightly related to that, there are groups of zombies called aberrants, which are basically myths on the internet, right? But some of them are real, and you can't differentiate the two. So, one of the ones listed in the book is something called a ganglia, which is imagine a rat king, but zombies.
Gross.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's great.
What about skeletons, though?
It could be
If it has a
aberrant.
brain,
If
No
it has
brain,
a brain,
just skeleton. Only
Nope, then
bone
no
man.
brain.
then no.
then it's
That's the
dead on the
one
ground.
thing.
it could be.
I mean, it could have a phylactery brain if like it has a brain elsewhere.
It's in a bucket.
And that's what you need to kill it, or it'll keep coming back.
Well, yeah, because it just tells you. I think it tells you how to make aberrants in the book.
Why would
so
anyone? Oh, you mean make as a GM? I think it would
As
make
a
in
GM.
character.
No,
I'm
no,
like,
no, no.
why would you
Yeah,
have a
in
mad
my lab.
scientist? Yeah.
So, yeah, technically you could have a skeleton if it's just all of the blight. It's called blight sinew, like just wraps around it, and it's just a skeleton instead of a person.
Either way, the answer is
So
kind
what's
of.
the next game
The-
question? What were we discussing?
We
we're
have half
discussing
an hour.
history.
Let's go quickly.
Yeah. So, so far I have people that were stranded here, or the first ones here. Basically, is like who set it up, which is the mailman, the TSA agent, locals, the pilot, maintenance, and the family reunion.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
All right.
Oh, and I love that they can't stand each other. There's like
Yeah, there's drama.
there's feuds going on within that family, or there was, and there probably still are, because someone can't let go even in the apocalypse.
Yeah. Did other groups come later, or has everyone been here since the crash? Were these additional populations recruited to meet the needs of the Enclave's founders, desperate refugees that managed to insert themselves?
I think
I
fishermen
really like-
came later.
I think not much later, but yes, I do.
I really like the idea that we have a growing latent community because they realize that we will tolerate them a little better than other
Oh, are we the
communities.
only place that'll accept latents?
I don't think
I
we'd be
want to
the
push them
only
all to the
place.
post office.
That's fair. Post office
Civil
is fair.
servant latents.
I think if you do like something like, because latents are very often very mistreated. So if your enclave just treats them slightly better, maybe they're like, oh, this place is nice.
Yeah.
Even
And I
that could
kinda
just be
like the
because one of
tension
the
a
family
growing latent
members.
population, and how do we actually deal with
Yeah.
that.
I still like that because one of the family members ended up latent. Some of the family treats them better than they otherwise would be, which is still a good chunk of the population, which ends up being a thing.
And there were probably a group of Canadians that ended up coming
Absolutely.
later, and that's how we established that trade.
Extreme Canucks. Like
extreme
What?
Canucks.
Oh yeah, coming down from Moose Jaw and Yellowknife, eh?
Yes, that's what. As a Canadian, that is how I want our Canadians to be shown here.
Thank you
You're welcome.
so much.
All right. I'm going to insult
To balance that,
both
I'll
of
be
you
from
this whole
Alabama.
game.
My
I'm
character
sorry.
will be like,
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? You could play Canadian if you want. Everyone can be Canadian.
I can't do a good Canuck accent.
Mm.
I don't know.
No idea what a Canuck accent even is.
Okay. So so all these other groups came, and just because you had so little amount of people, they were taken in.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think we just
basically.
needed more people. We have plenty of space even now.
So there might be a little lower level of factor of trust between these groups at this point, because we took them in, but we don't necessarily know anything really about them aside from the fact that they came.
And they're providing us trading partners somewhere in the north.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I know a guy over here. He'll buy this totally.
I know a guy over here, eh?
Yeah.
I don't know. That was like British.
Where was that from, man? Whoa.
Whoa, hey, I know a guy over here.
Oh, wait,
Yeah,
I know a guy.
So you were born in New Zealand, but you moved to Canada? Is that
moved to Canada and then went to high school in Boston? That's what happened.
Yeah.
So last question for history is: what past conflicts between interior groups and outside threats came to define how the Enclave operates today?
The zombie Iditarod of 04, where we had the great idea to try to use zombies to mush like carts.
You try zombie labor.
You tried to use zombie like Alaska dogs.
Yeah, we briefly
dog sledding with zombies.
Yeah, we briefly experimented with
you
zombie
need to do
sledding.
that with like a reverse dog sled because they'd run towards the human, so you need to put them behind you and on like a stick that would put.
No, we do the
things that would push you if they run towards you.
A metal stick and a dangly person that they chase.
Or like an arm if they want to eat flesh in general, we could have like severed body parts in front of them. Very gruesome.
An entire pig.
That's an interesting question. Is there zombie motivation here? Do they go after living thing or just meat or brain?
Do they eat animals?
I think they go after living things. They eat animals, but animals typically, unless they're like an aberrant, do not become zombified.
Okay. So they just eat anything. Any
They
flesh.
eat anything. Yeah.
Okay.
Typically the closest flesh.
Yeah. So, presumably, how did the whole zombie labor thing go wrong? And
it did not go well.
Yeah,
I don't think you have to think that hard there.
I'm also kind of liking the idea of that time when the zombies just, all amassed and literally just charged them out on wave upon wave, and actually some of them got across.
I could see there's also probably tension with, like, if we're on the Great Lakes and even wherever the line ends up officially ending, we're probably not that far from the border, and I don't think
there's definitely a DMZ between.
Yes, there absolutely is.
People live in the actual
pretty
border.
sure the government, like, if we do any trades, we're close enough, and if we have a plane, we could trade, or a boat, we could trade directly with, like, those from. Would anyone from the inside be trade from the outside?
I don't think so.
From the recession?
Yes.
Yeah, that's like the whole point of the game is like people there. You don't directly trade with them. They will use like a proxy, right? Like
okay.
So you might have someone.
Johnson.
There might be some anti-Canadianism amongst the proxies then, if like people are wondering if they might be infected or something like that. Depending on how much propaganda was done within the recession of no, we had to nuke them. They were all zombies.
Yeah. I don't know if there's anything mentioned specifically on like anti-Canadian propaganda.
Yeah. I doubt it would be mentioned.
To cycle back, what was the question again?
What past conflicts between interior groups and outside threats came to define how the Enclave operates today?
I think the zombie labor crisis is definitely the interior conflict, and then the exterior conflict is that structure, what you were just talking about with like anti-Canadian sentiment.
tensions with some of our trading partners due to having
Diversified contacts.
Yeah.
And a labor force of latent
and
people.
latent people, zombie, and I think the zombie labor crisis brought about the issue might not have been that it itself may not have gone too badly. It maybe had a mishap or two, but I think when some other people found out we were trying to use zombies as labor, that's when it got probably really bad. Like people stopped trading with us.
What if the zombie labor program came to a halt because one of the that's when the family reunion became a latent?
Oh.
Yep, that makes perfect sense. I
Yeah,
could
that
see.
was
Do you think it would have been the TFSA guy who started it? Of no, we can use this.
Oh, the TSA guy. Oh,
TSA,
yeah, for sure. Yeah, because in this setting, like the George Romero movies were a thing, and it talks specifically about like the Romero effect. Like was good in some sense because everyone knew you aim for the brain, but bad in other senses because you probably killed a lot of immune people and didn't know it, or you tried to be a badass and were not anywhere near badass.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I like the idea that the TSA guy set it up, and that
probably started some.
There was an accident with the latent, but nobody died. But also, it's probably been causing pushback by our traders, and so we're probably getting issues there.
I don't know
unresolved.
if it's game breaking or not with what zombies are, but the idea that maybe as you were training these zombies, they started to learn how to do things that they wouldn't have otherwise known to do.
Smarter.
Yeah.
Stenographer zombies.
I think that would be too much unless it was just one, and there's still discussion of whether or not they were one of the weird mutant things.
Yeah, basically very simple tasks,
like super smart zombies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there is an in-book aberrant. Oh, Marissa, I think you're muted.
Really?
Oh,
No.
I thought I saw your mouth move and nothing popped up. So there is an in-book aberrant that is a highly intelligent zombie, but it is because it was a child zombie. So like they could control other zombies around them very efficiently, and also they like wear a helmet. Like the picture of the little girl zombie with the football helmet is that aberrant.
I mean, we don't have to use one of the ones from the books because it's already died.
Of course.
It's by now the zombies. I'm guessing. I don't think we're using zombie labor anymore. I'm guessing.
Yeah. So yeah, that could just be a
Unless
rumor. Like,
we have one.
learning.
Although we did have a past of it, so we could have one like tied up in the basement still. Like we got the zombie chef, but we keep him in the basement just in case.
I don't think
There's someone who
by a zombie.
has a zombie as a pet, who they are very, very sure still knows them, still understands them.
That's horrifying, and I love it.
It's the member of the family, right? Like that kind of thing.
Did one become latent and one died?
Yeah, we'll do that.
One zombie, one latent.
Yeah.
Okay, I added that to history.
I would actually put that not necessarily as one of the family.
We do need someone else.
The family with the latent and the dead one is someone else, and the family with latent is like, oh no, our situation is completely reasonable. They're just latent. You're endangering the entire town by keeping them locked down there.
Oh yeah, we can do that whole like upper class hypocrisy thing where it's okay for me to do it and not for any of you. Yeah.
I like that. Who would it be then? Would it be someone
the person who used to be in charge of the town, the mayor, rushed in when the thing went wrong, got themselves killed and zombified, and a couple of the people who are like, no,
and it's not the mayor's wife; it's the mayor's affair partner.
No, yeah, but mayor zombie. The mayor
is the zombie, and the affair partner wants to keep them around.
Yeah, and their mistress or whatever is now the one keeping the mayor as a pet. It's a dynamic.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to find out what they're feeding it.
What the mistress obviously is more than a mistress. They probably have like a job or a role also.
It has to
Yeah,
be
it
an
was-
important role.
Would it be
to
just one of
able to
the
get away with
well?
that.
I guess it's a shipping, so they wouldn't have flight attendants, but that would be too also stereotypical.
What-
a politician, so I'd
pilot.
say whoever his secretary would be the easiest target. But
True,
I'd say make
but
the
she'd
mayor
need to be.
female,
She'd need to
honestly, in
have
this
an
case.
personal, like she'd need to have her own role that's important enough to protect the mayor's.
I'd say make the
Major
mayor
business owner?
female, have
I think
the
it could be.
It's
make
a
the mayor
pilot. We've
female,
got
have
full
the
circle. It's a pilot.
assistant
Marissa?
or whatnot be a fisherman.
Fisherman,
And-
I don't mind. It just doesn't make sense if there was an affair.
I was thinking the pilot.
no, it would actually if the fishermen had some kind of union or co-op where they traded, the person that led that would be a major influence on the town.
That's true. Yeah, I
Or
like
do
that.
like
I
what Jordan
also
thought
really
on
like
the
the
pilot.
pilot. The pilot is
Yeah.
the lady, and she definitely has the influence. But it's also like we don't have like the plane's barely running anymore, so it's waning influence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that better, though I like them both.
Keeping the ex-mayor as a pet. I'm thinking they're still wearing the suit. It's just tattered. There's still the little American flag lapel pin.
Oh, were they campaigning? Like,
It's
Oh,
gotta
that's
be
just
mid-campaign.
standard mayor wear.
Every
okay.
once in a while, their humanity will poke through, and they'll shake your hands before they eat it.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's a lot of good history that I will dig into.
One quick question, like just as a general thing, because there are 10-year-old zombies in the game. How do we feel about that generally?
I was gonna
Normally, we
ask
stay
you
away
about
from
that
the
too.
child violence.
Let's do with lines and veils, I guess, next
Yeah.
session, because I'm sensing a lot of like, oh yes, let's just eat a hand. In some degrees, how descriptive are we getting here?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
definitely. a big thing
I'm
I wanna
definitely
do.
gonna have one about body horror that we don't need.
Yeah, I don't really want body horror.
Yeah.
I would want a veil on child violence. The setting inherently has child violence that is possible to make a line on, but I just want a veil on it myself.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, we'll table that for
Mhm.
actual session 0 discussion. then.
Yeah.
I just
Yes.
wanted,
Would I call this session
Yeah,
-1
baseline.
then?
You could call this session.
I like
crash.
negative one. Negative one.
Negative
use a wing dig as the number.
Use a wing So the next part is the top exports. So, let's see here. What surpluses does your enclave have to trade?
Fish?
Water.
Fish.
Water.
Yeah.
Fish and
No,
drinkable water.
Drinkable water.
Yeah,
potable is the term we're looking for,
Potable,
but
thank you.
I don't think the Great Lakes are potable.
Really?
I mean, yeah, as long as
Yes,
you
but
don't
we
How
have
dredge
enough
them.
fussy
water that
are
we have
you?
the filtration
I was gonna say.
system set up, I would say.
Yeah, if you
Yeah, I
have a
wouldn't drink out of
filtration-
Lake Erie personally, but if zombies were around, maybe, probably, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'll put potable in quotations.
Yeah.
It's
like
better than everything else.
yeah,
the years that it's taking off your life aren't going away
Yeah.
just because of that.
it won't make you as sick as some of the other water that's on the table.
We've got a couple filtration systems set up. Whether or not you got the filtered water or the not filtered water, how much did you pay us is the real
Yeah.
question.
Yeah, you want
One
This
of the
is-
filtration
is the-
systems is a big pit 4 feet away from the edge of the lake,
And the other
another
one-
actually uses charcoal.
And that I was gonna say the other one is like the maintenance guy's like baby, and he is very fussy with it, and it's his pet project.
Well, it's the one he just maintains the one the airport had because the airport
Yeah.
pumped directly from the lake.
Mhm. So there are
Would they filter
levels
directly from the
of-
lake? From the lake?
They can.
If you have a well,
Yeah,
They
we just
wouldn't.
say they can.
They
I didn't
use it
think they
for-
would. I thought he just
They
like
wouldn't use it for drinking water. So they wouldn't
no.
care,
I was thinking the maintenance guy like sort of modified or built a filtration
Mm-hmm.
system himself as a pet project, but it also means he's super protective of it, and like
So he charges a premium.
he
if
charges a
sells the
premium
water.
if he sells it at all.
Yeah. So there are levels of cleanness of the water.
Yeah.
Probably a
Okay.
couple other people are like, right,
So,
filter water
yeah,
filtration. I
wait,
can't do
what
what
do we-
he's doing, but I'm going to try something
what do
else.
we sell again? We're saying
Fish.
Fish and
water,
water.
in water.
fish, water.
I
We
guess
need something silly.
transport.
Oh,
Something
I think-
silly.
I do like
Um,
transport.
Because you can
Possibly
still
even a
get
war.
gas.
I
it's
think
just very,
I think
very-
like transport and shipping is still an option for like the plane still works. Mostly, we just
Pleasure cruises,
no one will
Pleasure
take that in
cruises.
this.
like on the lake. It's a night off of danger.
Everyone's
John,
as
our
broke as
pleasure-
we are. That's the problem.
You could technically have pleasure cruises because to heal humanity, one of the things that is listed as like you and your friend go play video games for your hour of time that you bought on the batteries because there's still electricity and everything.
That's true.
So we have
I kind
leisure
of like the
activities,
pleasure
right?
cruise. It's
There
you
are
put
leisure
your,
activities. It's just
They're just expensive.
pleasure cruise seems quite expensive.
No, but
You put
like
your
a lake-
fortune into this, expecting to die. You know you have no money left. You're going to have this one pleasure cruise and come back
Oh.
broke as anything and die.
You're
It says-
Timeshares. We
Tiki
sell
bar.
timeshares on the lake.
Ooh, timeshares.
Yes, I actually really like that.
Timeshares. We have like 4 nice houses on the
Oh.
lake that we protect, and we have
Um,
timeshares.
Did we like build them out of decrepit planes and turn them into like
no, we
shacks
took
on the
people's
lake?
lake houses.
We just actually,
We
Yeah.
just took the lake houses because no one was there.
yeah, the
Yeah,
ones
so you
right
probably
next to
have-
the airport.
So there's like the enclave, and then you could probably have like other areas that are like part of your enclave, but could not be
They're on the
behind the
lake.
moat. You could just
Yeah,
control them.
we get
Yeah.
access to them by like taking the boat out on the lake to get
Yeah.
to them.
Does
We
the lake
hu-
house
we
literally float? I thought it was just on the lake.
No, it's
I
just
think
on
we
the
should
lake.
have a literal floating lake.
You can make a floating one.
Yeah, there's houseboat kind of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking house. I
Um,
was
Ooh,
like,
you do
you mean-
timeshare houseboats.
yeah, of like
I
you want to
will-
just
Yeah.
relax without worrying about getting eaten. Okay, here's how
Yeah.
it works.
I think timeshare houseboat realty scam might be the other export.
So I will also let you all be aware you need as many imports as you have exports. So you currently have 4 exports.
yeah.
What are they all?
The fish, the
water.
potable water. I put transport instead of transport and shipping, so it's the same. You transport goods
Yeah.
or people.
Yep.
And then the timeshares.
Okay,
Okay.
let's stick with those, and then 4 imports.
We
Mail.
probably.
Leighton Mail.
Or what are
I
you?
don't
oh,
think that's
mail.
us. Wouldn't that be the other enclave?
No, that's the
The
import.
enclave would
We
export
import-
mail.
To
You
us.
import mail.
Yeah, we import mail from the Leighton Mail Center.
Hold on. Let's because there's more questions on the export.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
So what goods can be produced or salvaged from the geography? So we like airplane parts.
Airplane parts, water was.
We use the
other
airplane
ones.
parts for boat repair and stuff.
Yeah. Plane parts.
So, like, we have a high-speed boat that is 1 turbine on a barge, and that's it.
Hold on, or else.
Water, fish. Yeah, that seems pretty much it. Airplane parts, water, fish.
Yeah.
Mushrooms, herbs, that kind of crap.
Yeah.
You know.
What forms of
Ooh,
industry?
yeah, we
I
can
was
have
thinking we need
mushroom
vegetables.
I'm
Oh.
thinking vegetables is an import.
That's what I mean. We need vegetables as an
Okay.
import.
Yeah. So, how many more questions on exports? 2 more. So, what forms of industry can be undertaken without undermining the defenses? Seems like just general
small-scale
I guess-
manufacturing.
Yeah, we talked about
Eh.
fishing. Fishing is a type of industry
Yeah.
that doesn't affect the defenses.
You'd want renewables that don't generate waste if you're living on the water, because you don't want to be polluting the water you're using to survive.
Yeah.
mhm.
So you could have solar panels or like wind turbines made out of like actual.
I think the
plane
wind
turbines.
turbines out of plane turbines is perfect.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. There's propeller parts all over.
Yeah, we just, like, taped them up on the air traffic control towers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Reminds me of playing Subnautica and just putting solar panels everywhere.
Oh yeah.
No.
Yep.
And they're all,
okay.
like, pointed at the lake, because that's where the largest area flat,
Yeah.
like, that's the largest flat area where wind can pick up speed we're ever gonna get is on
Yep.
the lake.
hmm
And then the last question is again, we've kind of already answered it. What skills and expertise can the population sell for what they need? So flying, probably repairing, and
Realty.
realty.
And
There's
overland
got to be
safety
a
if we
real
do
estate agent in
transportation.
the Enclave.
There absolutely
Oh, yeah.
is.
Mhm.
Yep. They're
Ah,
like,
no,
they're
I
the
have not
property
decided-
manager. That's what they are.
Yeah,
So-
I've
somebody
not
that-
decided what my character's going to be yet, but it might be a tiki bartender.
But we're that's so out of place that I love it. However, as a reminder, we don't stay in the enclave that we're making. We leave it and then come do the stuff and come back.
That seems like
This
a
is
bad
just
idea.
where you live.
It is a bad idea. That's why we're the ones doing it instead of anyone else.
'Cause it's a bad idea because you get paid a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's why. Okay, so
I need
so
a different gimmick. Sorry, it's figuring out what the gimmick is that's not sad is gonna be hard.
yeah.
We need a gimmick that is about not being in one place and not tied to one place.
I'm turning my gimmick into just the accent. I'm warning you now. I'm learning Cockney rhyming.
Perfect. Marissa, you typically like to fight things. Do you want to be a character who is good at fighting zombies? Security is
I
not a
am
bad thing to have.
I am unsure. I'll look at that later, but honestly, yes, I do enjoy combat systems. So
Okay.
All right.
I could be the face. We don't have if we don't have a face. I could just be like.
So, when you negotiate your contracts, everyone sort of can do a thing, right? So, you only have one person talking to the client, but then you'll have like a flashback that someone can like rough up the competition and make it so that no one comes and tries to undercut, right?
Yeah.
Like stuff like that.
The face is not the only one who does social stuff.
Yeah.
I remember that. But yeah, I'll see what I want to be.
So now we're at imports. So what does the Enclave need to keep operating? I think you said vegetables.
I think fish-only diet is not healthy.
We'll
See
say
scurvy.
mail.
Yes, we require mail to operate.
Well, because if you have like Canadian refugees from
Oh,
the
yeah.
eastern cities, you could also have mail go out to the western cities.
Yeah.
Whatever is left of them.
I like to think we run like a messaging service for like people who made it over to the other side. Not we run, post office runs, but we help facilitate back and forth. Like messages from the people on both sides of the border.
Yeah, it's like our constant side quest is drop off this duffel bag of mail on the way.
Yeah.
I think that the mail enclave, whatever, has basically they have some really, really, really poor relations with anyone back in the States. Maybe they're a little bit further north, and like no one's willing to acknowledge they exist. So we are kind of the in-between point.
Well, they definitely because the governmental postal service has abandoned this area, so these aren't actual postal workers, even though they just do
mail.
Yeah, they just do the mail anyways, so they have to distance themselves.
Yeah, there was even soldiers that the government sent over to help like stop the tide of the undead. Right, if they didn't pull out when they were told to pull out, they're also stuck. So like, there's a lot of resentment toward the government.
Oh yeah, I wonder why in this poverty simulator.
Yes, in this totally not real game.
What was the next
vegetables?
Imports.
Yeah, imports. Yeah, vegetables, mail.
2 more.
Fuel.
I think fuel. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think tourists for the house. Can we import tourists? Is that a thing?
There could be ultra wealthy people who don't want to go to the recession.
Yep.
For whatever reason, you could have tourists, or people from the recession could fly out secretly,
tourism,
and just visit. Yeah, there's disaster tourism. I watched a documentary titled that.
Oh my goodness! Why is the HOA thing actually looking more and more viable for a person to be like, if we want to keep business, this place, despite the zombie apocalypse, needs to look as close to a lakeside resort as possible. So we need to keep it like looking spectacular.
We got.
In totally fictional game that doesn't mirror real life at all, I don't need any more authoritarian fucking dictators. All right.
Okay.
Social structure is also
we can also make it just
it
is encouraged because of that without there actually being a dictator in charge.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would hate to have to shoot the little old lady that finally pissed me off, right?
It's not really an HOA, it's just a committee that runs the Enclave.
It's not, Committee?
Yeah.
Well, let's wait till we get to the social structure.
Yeah, we'll wait.
Yeah.
So next question for imports is, what do people need that the local geography can't provide?
Vegetables.
So,
yeah.
Vegetables, like fruit.
Rock band.
If we're in the middle, like we're probably a little meat as well. If we're in
Yeah,
the middle
meat.
of the moat.
Food is a problem.
Fish. We got fish.
We have fish from the fish.
Oh, like
Yes,
red meat.
Yeah, that.
That wouldn't be
I guess
bad.
so. I actually am not
Eh.
sure if we do. I think
I
we-
have not
disagree.
eaten red meat in like a decade. We're
yeah.
good.
I don't think we need red meat. I think it's
Okay.
mostly vegetables.
Oh, great. Everyone running around the Enclave is just like Indigo. Oh, God.
Wow. Harsh.
Okay, so yeah, it seems like just fruits and vegetables, right? Because it's cold, you can't grow them.
Yeah.
Okay. What forms of industry are impossible by the necessary limitations of the defensive?
I don't think we have any way of like creating plastics or rubbers or anything like. We've got
any
metal
major
about,
manufacturing.
Yeah.
but
Material
that's-
manufacturing.
Yeah, you have to like scrap metal. You can't
Yeah,
really.
we can repurpose things at best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Repurpose, like, we can do, like, food manufacturing. So, like, we can get some sheep and we can make some cheese.
I'm not even sure about that if you also consider the fact that if we want this to look like a resort, we probably don't want a bunch of sheep stinking it up.
Yeah, you want a stinky farm.
and the
Okay,
big
fine.
problem
I
that
can
we have
build
there
a
is
I can
where do we
build
put
a
the
still
fertilizer?
and make booze with it.
Yeah.
But
But anything like industrial, right?
Yeah.
Nothing
Yeah, like,
large.
if
You're,
I
not,
can't-
you're not making plastics. You're not making,
We don't
textiles are
want
probably a
anything
stretch.
with garbage products.
textiles are hard, but not impossible.
Yeah.
Okay. What skills and expertise are lacking in
Animal
Mm.
husbandry. We need sheep, and we don't have sheep.
I'm actually good with that. Yep.
Okay, sheep provide textiles. Sheep provide meat.
Fuel.
Sheep provide. That's what the textiles point was. Sheep provide dairy. Sheep give you 3 things, and we don't have a sheep herder. So just like the guy from Ed, Ed and Eddie said, we're lacking.
So animal husbandry. What if you don't have like a tech guy?
We
Well,
don't
we
have an
have
IT
the
department.
maintenance
We have an
guy, but that's not the
Engineer,
same.
but that's not tech.
No,
Yeah.
I think we don't have
Mechanical.
anyone who knows computers.
You have no IT guy.
Yeah.
We need an electronics engineer.
Yeah. Okay. I spelled electronics wrong. Don't worry about it. That's the last 4 imports. I think 2 is fine, right? Electronics and husbandry. The next section is competition. So, where have other groups settled in the area? When thinking about this question, remember your enclave's top imports and exports. Do these other communities feed your needs or worsen shortages? So we
Is
have.
there another resort
the main
town?
Is
The
there
camp
another?
It's
across
not
the
a
lake,
resort
fuck
town.
those guys.
It's the big hotel. It's the chain
Yeah,
hotel.
it's a
Yes,
big chain
it's
hotel
the chain
enclave
hotel. Yep.
that is
Okay,
offering
so-
a similar service at a premium.
Yeah.
Goddamn Sheridan.
We obviously have latent mail.
We do have
It's
latent mail,
technically
but we're sort of
competition,
working with
but
them.
doesn't necessarily mean it's bad.
Yeah,
right?
that one's not taking away from us. I don't think
the
overfishing would
berry
be a
god.
problem. Even if there were other fishers, that wouldn't really be a problem.
Yeah.
Oh, I
this.
think the hotel chain we're fighting against is a company from the United States, from the recession.
Yeah.
They just have like their high tech, super armed, like hotel where you can stand inside the gates and look out at the wasteland.
I could
kind of
absolutely
vacation
see like
resort.
yeah, I could
I think
absolutely
they have
see
a lot more people to just keeping this thing running.
yeah, I could see a corporation from across the border still running a hotel here and like pretty much going on like keeping things under wraps from the government, keeping it pretty hidden from the government as to
Yeah. Like
what
they
they're
could,
doing.
as long as they were on the other side of the border.
their
Like, they
head
have all the-
office is on the other side of the border.
Yeah.
That's all that
Like they're
matters.
all fine, right? Like they can have land rights here now because no one owns this. Like
Yep.
who's gonna tell you no?
Yeah.
So there's probably something funky with that.
Okay.
I had this start of an idea that the hotel is for the cultural elites from the recession. Like-
Mm,
Like their leaders are coming over here and taking a vacation.
I think it
Yeah, they have
probably is. Like
secret-
it's like it's not that far from the border, but it's far enough that you feel like you've gone somewhere exotic or in the nowadays like
Yeah,
It's like dangerous.
there's clandestine meetings that happen at this hotel.
Oh
yeah.
yeah, because there's the government arm is called the DHQS. I forget what it stands for, but that's like the big government entity that was made after this apocalypse happened that deals with everything and is super corrupt.
Yeah. I can't think of how currently it's related to imports and exports, but I do think there's probably a large enclave of members, like soldiers, who were left behind, and they made it this far before getting abandoned, and now they have their own enclave.
I'll call it Lost Platoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could
I'm just
definitely
trying to
have an
figure out
enclave of ex-soldiers.
how we got the veggies.
I assumed
You
they
could
were shipped in, but yeah.
go further south, somewhere in
I mean,
the more agricultural area.
ostensibly, if there's a lake, there's a river, and we're up in the mountains, so it's leading down, and there could be a shipping combine that goes up and down the river and
Mhm.
provides those kinds of things.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think there's much competition over the import of that I'm aware
Yeah.
of. I could see competition in terms of like another buyer if vegetables are that limited.
Do we need to have?
That's because we're so far up the river, right? Like we don't get the first shipment; we get what's left.
Well,
That
it
could
could
be
be that
Yeah.
your pilot goes and gets it.
Could be that
So
too.
you're not paying for shipping, you're just paying to get it.
Mhm.
Yeah, but at the same time, that costs fuel and
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think that's an important thing. We need to really.
Yeah.
We got a couple key other
Yeah, we
local
got
competitions.
yeah.
What are
Do you
other?
want lake pirates?
Pardon?
Oh, there's absolutely lake pirates. I love
I'll
lake
put lake
pirates.
Pirates
Lake
on the
lake bandits. Yeah.
River Saskatchewan.
It's like 4 dudes in their hunting cabin. It's not like
Yeah, but they've got a damn RPG.
Yeah. Yeah.
it's not saying they're
They
not
never
dangerous.
like it might not be loaded, but they're pointing it at you, and you don't want to find out.
Yeah. Okay, let me see how quickly. Let's
Please
wrap up
get me another
competition.
grenade.
Yeah, I
Let's
think I
wrap
want
up
one more
competition and
competing
then
enclave at least.
yeah. So hold on, because there's more questions under competition.
Okay.
What kind of structures and groups could provide for your enclave? What kinds of structures and groups would you need your enclave to survive? So definitely some sort of like agricultural structure.
Yeah, we require an agricultural structure really to
An
survive.
agricultural supply chain. Yeah.
Probably some way to get that fuel. We've got a lot dependent on that.
like a
Yeah,
fuel
the fuel
supply.
as well is critical.
Is there some way we could work in our reputation as a place to go in this?
I think you
Yeah.
could be like, we can bake that into the fiction if we want. I don't know if there's a specific section that will say that. But
Well, I mean, as a thing that we rely on, like we rely on our reputation for people to come here,
yeah,
right?
Mhm.
So
yeah,
maybe I don't know how you'd work that into competition necessarily, but we have to have a good enough sphere of
Image?
influence,
Oh.
basically.
The next question is, how are these other communities different from yours in size, belief, economy, or political structure? So you could just say like, you have a reputation, right?
We need to uphold.
Yeah.
Yeah. As to what that is, everyone says different things, but we have a reputation and we need to uphold. In terms, I was trying to think of another competitor for the fuel or for something, but I was thinking, what if maybe we're not sure why, or maybe we can figure out now. But I like the idea that the soldiers are hoarding fuel.
Yes.
Of course, yeah.
They're competing with us over it.
Okay. The lake pirates, we could just say are scavengers, like they'll loot anything.
I could consider
Yeah.
them bandits at this point.
Yeah. Targets of opportunity.
Scavengers / bandits. Okay. I think, are all these other communities also like little towns?
I think so. We're the biggest small town around. Or do you mean
Okay.
like the other enclaves?
Yeah, the other enclaves, like, because it says how do these other communities different from yours in size, belief, economy, or political structure.
I consider all of
The
them within
hotel
the
is real
same
big.
town,
The
except
hotel
the
is the biggest thing.
yeah, the hotel would be physically the biggest. I think the hotel was like even before the apocalypse was like we're getting this brand new hotel kind of thing. It was probably the one company when we tried to make it a commercial airline and that same initiative, one of the companies built an airport or sorry, built a hotel there as part of that same
Yeah.
thing.
I'd say
In my head,
the rest aren't necessarily in the same town, like a little ways outside of town or not, but they're all smaller than us is the big thing aside from that hotel chain.
Yeah, so you're the second biggest fish in this pond.
Yeah.
yeah,
Our
even
little local
they don't
ecosystem.
the hotel doesn't
Like they're
count
focusing
'cause
around
it has corporate
one
backup.
import, export, one focus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they
That's all
support
what
them.
their people
They
have
support
to do.
themselves from inside the recession.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah,
Next question is, what if some of the competition isn't from an enclave at all? DHQS have any settlements nearby? Has a corporate interest set up shop in the area for some
Yep.
research or salvage operation?
already
Yep,
answered.
we talked about that.
I don't think research or salvage like officially.
No.
Oh,
There's
it's
probably
here's a
not
people
question
coming
I
through
have.
trying to do that.
It's disaster tourism.
What?
But yeah.
So there's lake pirates. There might also be DHQ. Is that what it's called?
DHQS.
DHQS boats themselves on the lake.
Yeah.
Like basically the Coast Guard. Are we?
Yeah.
Is that like also stay clear of it, or they'll shoot on sight because you're not an official because they don't recognize you?
It depends because the DHQS also does a lot of clandestine like operations in the loss.
Okay.
So they'll also contract takers to like go do stuff
Yes.
for them.
Okay.
They have a
So
boat. They have a like port.
They definitely have like a gunboat.
okay. So it's probably like they're not necessarily hostile, but stay clear of them unless you have specific business with them.
Stay clear of them unless you have something they want and can back up like what you say. Otherwise, they will blow you up if you annoy them.
Yeah. Okay. So if the fishers would stay away from them probably as well.
So I was just looking into what the DHQS is. It's the Department of Homeland Quarantine and Stewardship.
Perfect.
Everybody's enclave has their own name for them. The Ducks, the Dicks, the FUQS, Imperial Stormtroopers, Citizen Kane, Judas Boys. Like, not looked on kindly.
No.
I think because we are a place of shipping, there's probably the occasional like lone salvage hunter who's like, yeah, no, get me to the other side of the lakes, then pick me up in 3 weeks, and we get them to the other side of the lakes, or ask for payment up front, and then come back in 3 weeks to find they never showed.
Mm-hmm.
So we're a bit past time. Is there how far close are we to the end?
The end of competition. There's only one more question.
Okay.
And then we need social structure and neighborhoods, and then VIPs. So we could finish that up next time.
Yeah.
So the last question is, what do citizens deployed in the loss need from those left behind? What riches from the recession can they provide to the people? Can they provide the people of the enclave? Let's see here. Like, what does the recession need from this enclave? I guess is what that's asking.
I think the tourism covers that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tourism. Let's say of the good old days, maybe.
Yeah. It's like an escape, even from the recession. It's we're trying our best to put up these cardboard walls metaphorically to make like no, everything's fine here. This nice old town. There's zombies, but they're fine.
You're
I'm
fine.
really
You're on the
enjoying the
lake.
Stepford smiles on everybody, and then behind closed doors, we're just tearing each other.
You're like yeah.
So
Everyone
maybe
acts
part of
nice
that
for the-
reputation is that we don't have microtransactions. This is an all-inclusive resort. You just pay one fee, and we don't nickel and dime you like everyone else does.
That sounds far too nice for the mindset that we're meant to go in with.
Well,
yeah, but it
your
does
mindset is way
set
more
apart.
real. Yeah.
I like the idea that that's what we're known for, and so there are still people behind the scenes nickel and diming people, but they're really not supposed to, and if you are caught doing that...
Yeah.
I could see that.
No.
There's probably like... Yeah, I think that works.
And there's probably a
tips.
little bit
It's
of friction
probably an
about how that-
unspoken expectation of tips. That's what it might be.
That's what
Totally different.
I just I just like the idea that we're selling peace of mind. You're getting out of the recession and having to deal with none of that nonsense while you're here,
That's
right?
fair.
Yeah. I think also maybe part of the location is like zombies mostly get lost in the woods. Like you get very few that show up at your
We
now.
do, yeah. I think honestly, yeah, we have the moat. Um, it's honestly legitimately seems to be a safe location from zombies. Probably river pirates are legitimately more dangerous, and that's,
Yeah.
I assume, not much. I don't know
Okay.
if enclaves can be attacked.
Not like mechanically. Like part of the story could be if I put up a job that's like, hey, those river pirates are messing with like our shipments. Can you help out? And if you let that go too long, I could go, okay, now you need like more fishermen, or you need to go deal with the
It's
pirates to get your fish
escalated
back.
since no one's dealt with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're a front that will just encompass some of our stuff
Yeah.
eventually.
Okay. Are we the only
Okay.
ones in the Enclave who do this? Who do like the weird jobs?
You could be the only ones in this enclave, but that doesn't necessarily mean
Yes, I just meant
it's
this
around.
Enclave.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
You could.
only us.
Yeah, because it's small enough. I think you guys are the taker crew of the town.
Okay.
Yeah, we're the ones that live here, but they still hire others when they need them if we're out
Yeah.
on a job, you know.
Yep. Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Oh, is
I've
any of
saved.
us planning to be a member of that family? Of the like giant family? Because I might
I
just
have to look into what is character.
that's fair. I
Yeah.
might
Yeah.
just dive into like I am now tied into weird nonsense family
Fam-
drama.
So yeah, it depends on how big the family is, but again, remember your charisma is how many dependents you
Yes.
have.
Yep,
Right.
I
So
remember
you could
that.
have
So
other
they could
family members that like actually work, but you have like maybe you take care of Blayla, right? Because she
Yeah.
can't work.
This is again we're going too late, but I'm imagining
Yeah.
the family matriarch is probably a VIP.
Oh, probably.
I'm really looking forward to having a lot of connections both between us and the town itself, and
Mhm.
really, like, we're not just an adventuring party
No.
chucked together, which often
We
happens.
came
but
here
no,
for a
have
reason.
This person and this
Yeah.
We're
person.
all here for a reason. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
And just one last thing to say is that there's another top spot that is you are a secret DHQS agent. So there's that, and
That's an
also
option. Okay.
you guys do not need to be friendly with each other. You are coworkers,
Yeah.
right? Like it's better for cohesion if you guys are friendly with each other. But
We're
it's
in it
not.
for the money. We're
Yeah,
not in
you're
it
in
for
it
each
for the
other.
money. Yeah.
That being said, mechanically, if PvP gets involved, is this game equipped for that?
There are PvP rules.
Okay.
Okay.
I think they're in the other book, but I think there are in there. I'll have to look again, but I have seen them before.
Perfect.
Okay.
You said
Always
there was one more
inflict the
question.
No, that was it. That was
Oh,
the
that
last
was
one
it.
for
Perfect.
competition. So we
Okay.
need to do social structure, neighborhoods, and VIPs next time.
Okay. So we'll be back
Yeah.
next week.
And we should have some, for homework, we should have some, not maybe a filled out character sheet, but some
No,
character
just
ideas after
just
going
have some
yeah,
through
read
the
it
book.
over and see what you're thinking.
Have a rough
Yeah.
idea of the character when we start, so we don't have to like flip through all the options together. We can be like, these are the ones I'm using.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's also listed in here like character types. So if you just want to use like I want to be this type of character, then it tells you like have these skills, have these equipment, and have these soft, weak, and hard spots.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we will be back next week, finishing up our prep for red markets.
Yep.
Yep.
Thank you for watching.
Yeah.
Cool. Next time.